According to the Occupational Health and Safety Act Section 8, every employer must provide, as far as reasonably practicable, a workplace that is safe and healthy and without risk to its employees. Have you conducted a risk assessment at your workplace? Do you have records stating which risks are present at your workplace? If not, please continue watching this video and I will give you the tools in order to get these things in order. Hi, my name is Neil Fourie. I'm the founder of Comply Connect. We are busy in this journey of implementing the fundamentals of a health and safety system. Please follow the link below in the description to our website, our LinkedIn pages, and any tools that might be available for you to use and to improve your occupational health and safety compliance. In our first article, we discussed the importance of commitment from top management in terms of the occupational health and safety policy, and how important it is for your business to work according to that policy and that commitment. We also discussed the importance of doing a gap analysis in your business to see, where the gaps are and how you can improve on them and what they are exactly. A very good exercise to understand your business's process flow. Then we also discussed the legal compliance audit to make sure that you comply with the laws that is relevant to your business, and how important that is to also ensure that if a Department of Employment and Labour inspector comes onto your property, that you are prepared for that. And not to scare you, but that is what it is. They are going to ask you for these forms and for these records, appointment letters, risk assessments, occupational health and safety management plans, when they come and do their audit. So you need to be prepared. Today we'll be discussing risk assessment. Please go and check out the recent post on LinkedIn where I discuss risk assessment and the various elements thereof. There's mainly three types of risk assessments that we have in occupational health and safety. It's the baseline risk assessment, the assessment where we get a foundation for all the risks in our business and to get an oversight of what risks are present in our business. You've got issue-based risk assessment. For instance, we focus on something like a forklift or a tractor or whatever the case may be. And then we've got continuous risk assessments. So continuous being in the form of continuous inspection, job observations, audits, etc. Today we'll be focusing on the baseline risk assessment. This will get you going. I will give you some examples, and at the end of the video, please go and download the template that is available to you to play around with. I would strongly advise that you get a competent person to head up the risk assessment team. This person must have attended formal risk assessment training, or you can reach out to a company like us, Comply Connect, in order to consult and to provide you with professional services. So in preparation for the risk assessment, you want to put together a team of competent people and influential people when doing this assessment. So firstly, let's use an example of a forklift and the risks that's associated with the operations and everything that goes together with a forklift. So firstly, you want the forklift operator or operators. They are the ones that experiences the risks on a daily basis. They know where the near misses are, they know where things go wrong, but they've got a target to reach, right? So they don't necessarily come forward and discuss, this went wrong today, that went wrong today. They are doing their job and they want to reach their targets. So it's important to make them part of it. They are the experts. Secondly, you want a senior manager present. This might be the head or the owner of the business, or what we call the section 16.2, the manager responsible for the area of operation. And the reason you want them to be part of this is that they need to understand what is going on. They need to understand what the risks are if they are not aware already. Being in that type of senior position, I would believe that this person is competent and they understand the process flow of their business. But it's important that they're part of this assessment, because they are going to be the ones that ultimately makes the decisions in terms of, how are we going to mitigate, what type of money are we going to spend and approve to mitigate these high risks in our business. Thirdly, you need to involve the health and safety representative of your area. If you've got more than 20 people, we'll talk about that in next videos. But if you have more than 20 people, you require an occupational health and safety representative. They need to be part of the risk assessment team as they are representing the employees as well. Fourthly, is where your risk assessor comes in. Competent risk assessor being in-house or, like I said, a consultancy like Comply Connect. Now I'm going to provide you with an example and show you exactly what a risk assessment would look like. We're going to look at a forklift as an example, and you can just follow. So this is an example of the HIRA register, or the Hazard Identification Risk Assessment Register, that I'm sharing in the description below. So basically how this works is you've got your department in which the activity is happening. What is the main process? For instance, this is a grocery store. What is the activity? Is it routine, non-routine, or emergency? Health, is it a health or a safety hazard? What is the hazard? What is the effects? And what is the control measures available? What is the likelihood of something happening? The exposure to employees, and what is the consequence? You times those three with each other, and it gives you the score. It's either a very high risk to an acceptable risk. And how the control matrix works is also on the sheet. Sorry, the quality is not too great here, but you'll be able to clearly see it on the template. It just shows you, like, for instance, likelihood might well be expected, or it happens often, then you would put in a 10. So let's put, for instance, in here the forklift. So let's say storage of goods via forklift. Okay, just an example. It is a routine task. There's safety risk involved in what we're going to say. What is the hazard? Let's say worn tires. Tires, yeah. Okay, and the effects is possible to lose control of the forklift due to worn tires. Okay, and what is the current control measures that's available? So here you've got, for instance, the forklift is inspected daily by the operator, and deviations reported to 16.2. So what is the likelihood? The likelihood is very low that something will go wrong, seeing as there is a control measure in place. The exposure is extremely low. The consequence, should this forklift go out of control, can be quite catastrophic or lead to loss of life. So it's obviously then 1 times 2 times 7 is 14. And it is what we call a possible risk, PR. All right, and then what we can continue here with is recommended steps to reduce risk to acceptable level. Setting objectives, as we might say here, depending on history of replacement, replace tires every 6 months. Just an example, guys. Okay, and the action plan further here on the management tab that's over here, you will just put in daily inspection or audit. All right, so that is the example just of the risk assessment. Like I said, this template will be in the the description below. So let's talk about mitigation measures. And what do we do first and what do we consider last resort? Here we're going to talk about the hierarchy of controls. So basically the first type of control is, and the one that you actually always want to do first, is eliminate the risk completely. Secondly, you might want to substitute the risk. So you want to either, let's say in a forklift situation, you've got a very old forklift or very old forks or very old chains. You will want to replace it with new equipment, so that is substitution. Thirdly, isolation. So what do we mean by isolation? That can be something like a guard or something that, a barrier that protects either the machine or the people exposed to the machine parts. So it can be, for instance, if you talk about a gear that is a V-belt or whatever the case may be, a pulley system, and that system is currently exposed, you need to cover it and isolate it with a guard so that no one's hands or fingers can get caught up in that. So, and fourthly, you want to reduce exposure. So with reducing exposure, I mean that if there's, let's say, forklifts operating in a certain area, you want to reduce pedestrian traffic by either painting walkway lines or signage or whatever the case may be to minimize traffic in the area where the forklift is operating. You can also, for instance, only allow certain people in those spaces where forklifts are operating to limit the exposure. Then we've got information. So what information are we exactly talking about? This can be procedures, policies, standard operating procedures that speaks to the risk. So in other words, if you've got a forklift operator, there needs to be a SOP for forklift operations. So this SOP will cover all the personal protective equipment, the process flow of their job, how it works, what risks are involved, what they are allowed to do, what they are required to have to operate a forklift. All those SOPs are important for the operators to understand, to be educated on, and for them to sign as proof that they have received this training on the SOP. Then last resort is personal protective equipment. Like we knew in COVID, PPE, the mask that we wore. That's last resort. The easy thing that we would usually do is just buy safety boots or buy a helmet or whatever the case may be. But remember that this is uncomfortable for a human body to carry all the time. It's heavy, it's hot, it is uncomfortable. It's something that you want to do last resort. It's the last thing that you want to take money out on. So that is the hierarchy of controls. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please follow me and subscribe if you want more videos like this. And please leave a comment. Let me know what you would like to know more about health and safety in the workplace. We'll see you in the next video.